Namaskar and a very warm welcome to DD India. You're watching In Conversation and I am with you, Bhavna Nair. There was a time when the sound of postman's bicycle bell symbolized emotion, trust and connection. But in today's digital India, that same postal network is undergoing one of the most remarkable and transformational change in India's independence history. From traditional mail delivery to digital banking, from parcel logistics to e-commerce, and from rural development, connectivity to financial inclusion, there has been a massive transformation. India Post is reinventing itself as a modern public service and logistics powerhouse. Simultaneously, India's telecom landscape is also witnessing massive structural reforms. BSNL's 4G expansion, indigenous telecom technology, rural connectivity missions and digital infrastructure rollout are changing lives in some of the country's most remotest and previously disconnected areas. Joining us today is a very special guest who will talk with us on transformative journey is the Union Minister of State for Communications and Rural Development, Dr. Chandra Sekhar Pemmasani. A very warm welcome, sir, to DD India.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much, sir. Sir, Post Office or India Post is a 170-year-old long journey. It's a journey of transformation, but India Post, when we hear, there is still an emotion that it will be of inland letters and money orders, but it has changed remarkably. How do you think this has been a challenge for you, or this transformation has been a remarkable journey for you?
Yeah, absolutely. So India Post has 170-year history, and also it has one of the largest employment network. Right, we have close to 2.5 lakh employees even just in the Gramin Dak Sevak. They are at every village. So when we looked at it, this is the best opportunity, depending on how you use the people that you have. So, but it is also a system of governance. When you are in the government, things are not as quick as possible, like in private sector. So what we thought, since it has so much trust in public because of legacy, reach and familiarity of all the rural people. And then Modi ji has always envisioned this postal department should be the citizen delivery service platform. And the missing piece was like technology, and we didn't have a lot of visibility. So we thought by adding the missing components and utilizing the existing workforce, we thought we could make a huge difference, which we in fact did it within 2 years.
But as far as India Post remarkable journey, as you are saying, the remarkable journey as in numbers, it says that revenue growth in a decade reaching 15,373 crore rupees in financial year 2025-26. What has been that turnaround that this remarkable journey has achieved this remarkable growth?
So, if you look at historically, like in 2016, the revenue of postal department was around 11,500 crores. Since then, every year on an average 200 to 300 crore revenue growth was there. But this year we were able to increase 2,100 crore, that is 10x of compared to average revenue. And there are multiple reasons why we did it. The number one is we did from both bottom up approach as well as top down approach. Top down approach is identifying the total addressable market, putting appropriate targets, ensuring accountability, and then bringing visibility, transparency by adding a lot of technology, and then also energizing our total employees. Like Gramin, we did Gramin GDS Sammelans across the country. So when we went there, we really explained them where we are in terms of our department. What are our total expenses? What is our total revenue? What is their role in Viksit Bharat? When we involved them, engaged them, when we energized them, I think they started working. But at the same time, technology visibility also allowed us to see exactly where the gaps are. And then my cabinet minister Sindhya ji, he would monitor every 3 months the entire every circle performance. I take every monthly review of every circle. We identify their bottlenecks, we fix them, and we tell them the targets, we give them the marketing support, we give them the sales support, and it's a very structured organizational framework, and obviously that delivered the results.
Absolutely, delivered result, and it's showing in the numbers as well. But would it be fair to say today that India Post has transformed itself into a traditional post office service to a customer-centric service platform today?
Yeah, absolutely. See, this is one aspect where we have, not only providing the services, but actually the mindset change, culture change, right? When they're serving the customers, how their behavior and everything are being changed, where we have taken up a massive capacity building training. Like every 100 people were conducting a training sessions on how to talk to the people, how to sell these services, how to serve them. So this entire behavioral and cultural shift across the country is also part of this entire transformation process.
But as far as numbers are concerned, if we go to the e-commerce, because the Indian Post Office is transforming itself into e-commerce industry as well today. So the growth in parcel services, as I was reading, and citizen-centric services has been extremely sharp. The numbers show that nearly 70% growth in both the sectors. Now, is this reflection of the changing behavior in the customers, that they are building more trust in India Post and in comparison to the traditional banks that are already there?
No, it's a combination of both, but mainly, when we're providing the parcel services, logistics, look at it, e-commerce is growing. There is actually quite a bit of opportunity. When we took over Sindhya Ji and me, we were around 600 crores is the total parcel revenue. But, there are some private courier services alone are generating 5,000 to 6,000 crores of revenue. So, and then there was no technology, there was no SMS tracking, OTP based delivery, no SMS tracking of where their parcel is. So like that, there are multiple problems in that. Now then we brought all that visibility into this, and then we also engaged with a lot of bulk customers, B2B, we're tying up with Amazon, all of that. When we brought all this transparency, and also explain to our people, because going forward letters and all this stuff are going to be minuscule, but the logistics, when we build the logistics network really well, this year we increased 70%, but this has like just a parcel service alone can generate up to 10,000 crores of worth of revenue. Not only that, then we did a lot of rationalization of the routes, how can we deliver things faster. And then we piloted 24-hour, 48-hour services, speed post.
Absolutely, yeah.
And then we, after extensive piloting, we launched across 6 metro cities. We did a lot of public awareness. And obviously, then people start seeing, when they see, a lot of people, even when they have to deliver the government-related important stuff, they go to post offices to deliver. So obviously, they are seeing the transformation by themselves. So it's a culmination.
And that is how the trust is being built.
Trust is being built. So it's a combination of both.
It's a combination of both. But the department has seen massive changes in the terms with parcel and logistics that we have already talked about. But in terms of advanced postal technology, which is the APTs, it's implementing the advanced postal technology under IT 2.0 with a massive investment, 5,800 crore rupees investment. So how do you think the customers are going to see this change at the ground level with this massive investment in APT?
Exactly. So in each service, it will be a different way of visibility. As I said earlier, for parcel services, now you can get OTP based delivery, SMS tracking. Earlier, there were not even digital payments allowed. Now we are allowing UPI digital payments. So these are the things that they can visibly see. But when it comes to, a lot more is coming. When they go to, for example, a savings account, right? PLI, RPLI policies, these are the things. So we don't want people to even go to the post office. Ideally, they should be through the browser. With one click, they should be able to buy any insurance policy or savings account, deposit. They should be able to download a digital certificate right there. And when their policy matures, automatically that money should come to their bank account end to end without visiting a post office. So when we are able to do that, then we believe there is a huge opportunity, because you look at it, postal savings accounts, right? Typically savings account, SBI and all these are giving right now around 2.5% interest rate, but postal department gives you 4% interest rate. So, which is one of the highest in the country. Second, it's most trustworthy, government back, and it is available at the doorstep for all rural people. So, by enabling these services, by making it easy for everybody, inclusivity at the best form we can deliver. So, that is why creating this digital easy accessible systems are important in every area that we serve.
And that is what you are looking upon to. Also, half of the population is also being targeted by India's post office. Women-centric schemes. They are also helping now the self-help groups and direct benefit transfer schemes. They are some of the measures that are being adopted by India Post Office. So, how do you think at the ground level, at the grassroots level, is India Post becoming the welfare for those people?
Yeah. So, there are multiple aspects. Today, we are distributing almost 45,000 crores worth of money through DBT. I mean, these are the people, we have IPPB, India Payments Bank, that they have mobile phones, biometric devices, printers, they can go to doorstep and they can give the money, they can collect money for paying the bills and all that stuff. This is like the best form of doorstep banking, that is number one.
Right.
Number two, we are also doing in a saturation mode, like for example, Sukanya Samruddhi scheme. It has very high interest rates, that is Modi ji's idea. I mean, today we have 3.8 crore women, girl child have this Sukanya Samruddhi scheme. I mean, these are the people that when they become doctors, engineers, lawyers, 3.8 crore people doesn't have to look back. So, these kind of rural penetration, I mean SHG groups, right, I mean they all can avail these high interest, high saving, high interest paying saving account, and it is available within their village. There are not many banks that have this much reach or access.
India Post today has become a major pillar for financial inclusion, as you have already said. But how do you think this financial inclusion that is already there with India Post, how do you have to go ahead now? In the next 5 years, how do you think this financial inclusion will be more better, more secure and more stronger?
So, this is where I think everybody should have a life insurance, and we will be giving a lot of saving accounts as well. And then the banking. When you combine all of these things, then it will create a powerful tool. For example, when you get a DBT money into your account, right, automatically with based on their demographic, their financial condition, it should be able to suggest them what are the best policies that they should be investing. So, these are the things when we do it, obviously it will increase their overall safety net.
But as everything is becoming digital today, cyber security and digital threats are a major concern for every department, be it India Post. What are the kind of measures that you are taking so that your digital platforms remain secure and safe and people trust you more?
So there are three ways, right? Whether one, the front end, right, from the user coming, and then our people actually doing the things, and then the back end security. These are the three things that you call when it comes to security. So, not everybody can access our postal system, they have to be facially recognized, those kind of securities have been taken. And when it comes to user, eKYC and everything are being Aadhaar linking, all of that have been taken care. And in the back end, when we did the IT 2.0, we followed all the national protocols of security, cloud security, everything are being followed. So, I don't think there are any safety concerns as far as I know.
So, as far as for metros and rural remote areas, are you following different measures and different kind of implementation procedures to target those people? Because you say Grameen Dak Sevas as your heartbeats of our country, and you have now live ATMs as well. So, a lot of things have been changing. So, is the target for urban areas and rural areas different?
It's different in two ways. Like for example, in urban areas, people expect different kind of facilities, right? If you have seen, we completely revamped some of the new postal offices like Nehru Nagar, right? We're with 60 to 70 lakhs, we're modernizing, we're giving more space, we're doing like a digital counters when they come and visit, and when you want to take Aadhaar updation, you have a systematic, very well defined process. So these entire post office, like on the top of the post office, you have shared workspaces. So these modern post offices are going to change, at the urban level. Then we are also creating these next gen post offices in universities, some of these, so where youth can go there and connect with the post offices. There are some cultural elements. So those are the 2-3 ways how we are doing the urban. And in the rural, it's all about reach, it's all about inclusion, ensuring our GDS go to every house, ensure they have PLI, RPLI, they have Sukanya Samruddhi scheme if they are eligible. So bringing everybody into the system and educating them what are all the options that they have.
Correct.
So this is how the multi-pronged approach.
But Dr. Pemmasani, this transformational change that we are talking about has come recently. Why it didn't happen earlier? What were the challenges that it couldn't happen at that point of time? And in the past 5 years, we are seeing all about India Post at every corner of our country, huh?
So especially past 2 years, I would say. I think I cannot comment on the past, but Scindia ji, obviously studied abroad, Harvard, Stanford. I am somebody who built a multi-billion-dollar business with a tech background. I think we both have a vision of what we want. I think that's a fundamental aspect of anything. And second, not only knowing what you want to do, second, you need to know how to do it. Right? In a government system, how can you use the existing policies but still get the accountability and all that stuff. Third, bringing that inspirational leadership. When your leaders work as passionately, the culture changes. So I think with all our effort, however, Scindia ji and myself, we take this Department of Post like as if it is our own company. So we build it like that. So obviously the transformation will be at that scale as well.
As Dr. Pemmasani, we are talking about dark to digital today and about the last mile connectivity. That is PM Modi's vision as well, the last mile connectivity. So we'll talk about BSNL now. BSNL was once a struggling PSU and there was many discussions on revival of it. But now we are seeing there a change in BSNL as well. What challenges you faced in the revival of BSNL and what progress it's been doing now?
So BSNL was exactly like the Department of Post. When we come there, the culture of work, the functioning of the towers, everything has had its own problems. For example, we have a lot of towers. None of those towers have batteries that are functioning. These are some of the media cable is old. So nobody really audited all these stuff. So then there also we went very systematically. What are the exact problems? Like for example, in Andhra Pradesh, one state you take it, the uptime of the towers is it was 75%. Obviously, when you have 75% uptime, users are not going to use the service. So then we put the target of 95% as step one. We replaced 50,000 batteries for around 50,000 towers. Power plants have been replaced. Aging cable has been replaced. Then again, we put the systematic targets at every circle level, every state level, what are the enterprise business that they can get. And if there is a 4G new technology in that tower, in that perimeter, how many new mobile connections that they can go. So again, this is a systematic monitoring process, target setting, and and being on top of it is actually transformed the BSNL. BSNL also, you look at it 2 years ago, from 21,000 crore was the revenue, now 25,000 crore. So within 2 years, we were able to get 20-25% growth in revenue. And we used to have EBITDA of 50 crores, now it's almost like 7,000 crores. And the most importantly, BSNL, this 4G technology, indigenous technology that we launched on 100,000 towers within a year, and we got that technology to near perfection level now. Now going forward, it's all about scaling because we still don't have the same kind of capacity like the private players when it comes to 4G.
Yeah, that's what I was coming upon. There are a lot of private players in the market today. How do you think that trust on BSNL would be put upon when it's almost lost among the people in India? MTNL got merged with BSNL, but BSNL is now working with India Post as well. I've heard that ₹1 SIM you can get at India Post offices now. So what changes should the people know about that BSNL is doing so that it can help them as well?
No, absolutely. See, our limitation is right now we don't have the same number of towers as the private players for 4G, but we do have enough for 2G, 3G. But a lot of the villages where the BSNL is the only option that they have, Definitely in those areas, everybody should be subscribing to BSNL. And even in the urban areas, wherever there is a good quality connection, they should be able to use the BSNL 4G. And the trust is, trust is not something you can get it in a day or two.
Absolutely.
We understand that. It takes a little bit time, but our prices are much cheaper than the Reliance or the other ones, Airtel. So what they should do is they should give us a chance for a couple months and see whether this will make a difference. I mean, 1 rupee, that is the reason why we are giving that 1 rupee SIM is so that they can see. And now we also tied up with the Department of Post, because every postal person can go and actually educate what the BSNL can do in rural villages and encourage them to subscribe to BSNL.
I've read a very positive example about BSNL. It's not an example, it's a story. How BSNL in the remote and tribal areas has helped in decreasing the left-wing extremism, especially in Chhattisgarh, where the extremism was too high, and it was our Home Minister's vision that the Maoism is going to eradicate by March 31st, 2026. It has been done. How BSNL has helped in those remote areas to help people to find the connectivity and then take the help from the people that were there for them in those extreme circumstances.
Yeah. So there are around 35,000 villages in this country that do not have good connectivity because of the lack of techno-commercial viability, or due to extremism and other stuff, or far-flung areas which are very difficult to do it. That is the Modi ji's vision, to connect every village, whether it is tribal village, whatever, how far ever, forest or all those areas. So that's when we took over, Scindia ji and myself, we monitor every week. So every week, state-wise, what are the exact issues that we are not able to put a tower in that area? Is it an environmental issue? Is it an access issue? Scindia ji has written letters to chief ministers, chief secretaries. I have written letters to each individual MP exactly what they should be doing to install a tower in that area. We call the local collectors to clear those. So with that, we are able to install right now around 25,000 towers that are covering 35,000 villages. We have another 10,000 towers we have that we need to cover. These are really remote areas. Once you get access and connectivity, obviously you will be empowered, and all the rest of these extremism and all that stuff will go down.
I want you to please tell me the story of Narayanpur, how BSNL helped them, the people of Narayanpur, to contact the BSNL and then contact the police, and how it helped in eradicating the left-wing extremism there, how BSNL helped them.
No, I mean, it's once you get the connectivity, you'll be able to talk to them, right? I mean, they can see the power of that communication. Some of these places, they burn the towers and all that stuff too. So you have to have a lot of coordination to make those things happen, and finally the result is.
Prime Minister is completing 12 years of Modi government this month, and Prime Minister has always envisioned last mile delivery. How do you think that central is communication infrastructure to build the mission of Viksit Bharat in 2047?
So there are two aspects to it. Number one, as I said, 4G, reaching out to every village through mobile connectivity, which we are almost done, other than these 10,000 villages, which will be done within the next 1 year. The other thing is providing high-speed fiber optic cable to almost every Gram Panchayat, which is BharatNet, almost 1,40,000 crores. Even that one, majority of the states, we have tendered the packages, the works have started. Once that is not only, that is also being monitored like as if you do it in the private industry, very systematic, technology driven, accountability, regular reviews. I review every 2 weeks, Cabinet Minister Scindia ji reviews every month. So that's going very well. BharatNet 1 and 2 were not that successful. We understood all the problems related to that 1 and 2. We fixed majority of those, and now not only enabling this cable to reach those areas, we also are working on how to make sure people actually use it. Right now, you look at it in rural, there are only 15 lakh households that are using this BharatNet.
True.
And the goal of the government Modi ji is 1.5 crore population, households to do that. Entire country has around 30 crore households. So, phase 1 we want to get it to 1.5 crore households, and we are doing everything that is possible to enable village entrepreneurs and clearing their bottlenecks, so that they can go and give these connections to all these 1.5 crore households. That is another, these are all part of our Viksit Bharat. I want you to also know, Viksit Bharat is not just about connectivity and all that stuff too, right? Ensuring these public institutions work like, a developed country public institutions. When you are enabled, when you change their mindset and culture and accountability, that is when you get a true Viksit Bharat in my view.
Okay. So, I now want you to answer my rapid fire questions. Are you ready, Dr. Pemmasani?
Yes.
Okay. So, let me start with either you can have a one liner or one word. That is your choice. Letter or email?
Letter.
All right.
Letter.
Why?
Because it has more emotional component to it. When you write it, that has a lot more emotional component.
Right. Speed post or instant messaging?
I would say, both has its own. I don't, since speed post, since I am in the department of post, I would choose speed post for now.
Okay. One word for Grameen Dak Sevaks?
Backbone.
BSNL in the next 5 years?
Trustworthy, proud and profitable.
Rural India's biggest strength?
Resilience.
Biggest telecom achievement in the last decade?
Developing indigenous 4G technology. There are only 4 countries in this world that have developed this kind of deep technology, and we are proud that India is the 5th country, and not only developing, we have perfected it, clear to 90%, 90% quality to the rest of the world. You are talking about this is the first time we were able to do it.
One reform that you are personally proud of?
One reform, I think converting this entire postal department of postal network into this mission driven, profitable, eventually profitable organization is actually I am proud of.
Being a physician or a politician?
I think both are same in my view. Physician, you help few people. Politician, you will have much bigger impact, and obviously, politician.
Message to young Indians in one line?
I think, if you build your character and work hard, nothing in this world is impossible.
So true. Thank you so much for coming to DD India and sharing such insightful views about India Post and the digital revolution that India is witnessing today.
Thank you so much, Bhavna.
The transformation of India's communication ecosystem mirrors the transformation of India itself. India Post today is no longer just delivering letters. It is delivering financial inclusion, logistics access, governance and opportunity to the last mile. And telecom connectivity is no longer merely about signal towers. It is becoming a bridge between aspiration and development. Thank you for watching. Goodbye. Namaskar.